I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is April 6th, Monday, 2026. Hope you had a good day, good holiday if you celebrate it and all that. So remember, check it out. We talked about this possibly happening. We actually got this and finished. Obviously, we didn't get the expansion, but we broke lower. We pushed up in here. We squeezed sellers. We came back into a breakout area. Said that it would. How deep would this go? If you recall, you've been watching videos, and then we pop right back up for a new high. We got that. Let me show you how I fucking got their ass last night. So I normally obviously don't trade Asia, but we were driving to our family's event and the market opened and I'm like, you know what, honey, you drive. I need to look at this. Sure enough, the price opens down here and this is Sunday night. And the whole goal is if you take a look, what do we have already? We have the drop down, we have the push up. All right. By the way, I didn't have the thing wasn't sorry, the gray gap wasn't in the background, but it was on these time frames. I don't know why I didn't extend it on this indicator on this fucking 4 hour. But point is that we talked about coming up to squeeze out and then retrace back into this breakout area, daily bullish imbalance into there, 1.5 with that projection there. And then we pushed up for Thursday. Friday was a dud day. But notice I talked about on Thursday about I was in this buy here, if you're wondering. Okay, here's the thing. This was a great buy. Did it buy? Yeah, it bought. Did it make a new high? No. Then Friday comes in with obviously that bullshit price action. So NFP week didn't even take out the new high, but did it go up? Yeah. Did I take profit out? Yeah, I had to squeeze out. It got me out. Was I right about the idea? Yeah. What's the other understanding? Well, it's a little bit too easy, but it could have went up, right? So that's the logic of me making the continuation of the high, because I know that this high is going to get ran out. I'm basing it off of this pushing up, and then we come back and then we push back up. It's a new fucking high. Okay, so that being said, I understood that and took me out, no problem. Guess what? We have that same gray gap, and then I have the 25% there. I have this green line is all the way an old low, still there. Okay, it's the only one on the chart right now. And I have it brought it all the way out. Take a look. I'll have that one there too, but that's whatever. But you'll see what I'm saying. So it's gapping down first of all, and then I have this imbalance here dragged out. Where is it, buddy? Here. This one is from Wednesday. Okay. So we have price action here from Wednesday. Don't get lost in all this. It's not too much. I just left it alone. Projection here. Coming up here with this projection here. 101.5. And then, we got these guys right here, right? So that being the case, I'm looking to expand. Hey, I'm Mr. Bearish, remember, right? I'm Mr. fucking Bearish, and I'm buying here. So just pay attention, because that's flexibility. It gaps down here, and then that's Wednesday's first imbalance. That's what was actually happening on Thursday. I think I put that in Thursday's video, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. So we gap down literally from it, right? We come right down to what? Well, that breakout area of that long green line from old week is right there. Number 2, it doesn't have to hit it perfect, but number 2, we have the bottom 25% of the gap. It hits it almost by a tick. It misses it. But look how I'm entering this. You're like, dude, you're a scammer. How did you do that? That's impossible. You took all these losses. Well, I did take some losses, but I caught it. But what's to the left here? What's this opening range gap from yesterday? From Thursday. Look, it's perfect. Perfect. Huh? It sound ridiculous, don't I? You ready? Zoom in for you. Look at that. That's the 50% of Thursday's gap. Look to the right. Look to the right. You're like, oh, it went below. Okay. It went below 2-3 points, yes. But look at the bodies. Look at the bodies of the 1 minute. Come on, man. This is precision.com. See this? Look at the bodies sitting there. So why am I saying all that? Because of the fact that when this comes down here like this, I do take this trade. I'm in the fucking car and she's driving, so I understood that we're over. So I understood we're gonna buy here, and we're gonna come what? Well, NFP made a lower high, and then the high of Friday, right? Yeah. I don't know why they're calling that. Yeah, it's still Thursday here. Thursday's high, and then we have that high. That's also Thursday's high of the session. So look at that. Look at that. Right. So we're gonna ram it, and then we have. Let me go back to it just so we understand. You can see the goal here, the previous day's highs in green right there, and then we have the weekly high in orange. Just the weekly low in the dotted lines. That's the weekly high. So you can see it comes down. I take the buy. I fail. All right. And then here, I'm sorry, right here. See how it wicks, pops back in, and then this candle pops above the previous candle, then pops back in. So I was in this trade, and then what does it do? It comes down and it rams me. Fine. I lost that one. It was no big deal. Then I took a loss here before I caught this one. Why? Because if you look at this candle, it popped up real big, strong wick. It wasn't a wick at first. It was a strong candle. It went above that previous candle. I'm waiting for a change of delivery. I'm waiting for the algorithm to tell me, hey, we're going to go into a buy program. So it does that bullshit with that candle. If you are watching Price Live, you know what I'm talking about. And then it immediately, once it took that previous candle, it popped all the way back down. I was like, you fucking bitch. Then it closed. I said, okay, I got you. I know exactly where you are. I'm still buying you. And then boom, candles close, pushes up above this candle, previous now candle, down candle, and pops back down. This next candle just opens up, no gap, just like no wick. This should have been my entry, but I just bought it anyway because I knew exactly what we were laying on. I was like, I got you, motherfucker. And guess what? Boom, pops up. And then it's gone, right? So now we're popping up, and then we get this. We get a straight through. At this point, I'm at family's house. It's like 3 hours. We're chilling, and I'm periodically looking at my phone because I want to come and make this new high. You're like, dude, yeah. Well, I've already remember I made this video on the 30th. Yesterday would have been the 5th, and you don't think I forgot. So, anyways, pushes up, gets outside the gap. I talk about this all the time. I'm squeezing up. You can see where I'm trying to go. Very clear, right? I understand that this was just a retrace back in, right? And then again, the 15 minute, you can see that we sealed that gap. So, and on the 4 hour, you can see us dipping in there too. And then I'm using that confluence. But anyways, pushes up. Look at this beautiful. And then I get stopped out. Then what do? Well, I know we haven't hit the target, and I'm still with families. And it was pretty much trending on its own, so it wasn't giving me a hard time to trade it. And I just knew that we were gonna pop up because you can see the. Oh, by the way, I have that measurement from there to there. You can see that. At the time, I just had on the bodies, and you can see -2 is the high of Thursday, damn near perfectly, right? So I knew we were going to get up in here. We hit the -2, and then we kind of retraced back, right? Back in, and then, I'm trying to get it back above there, but the weekly, you can see the line right there, very clear. That's the last week's high. So when I start when I started the week, I'm like, okay, well, what's the algorithm gonna hunt first? Immediately the previous week's high. I don't give a fuck if it's bullish or bearish. Why? Because it's right there. It's right there, right? And people have been getting money, and then they set up this bullshit, and I knew it. And this is to prove it. as I'm taking these trades above. I'm not selling here. You don't see no sells, bro. So anyways, I get stopped out right there. Then what does it do? Retraces back. It gives me this little balance price range. Gives me an inversion and a bullish imbalance. I take this buy here. I'm trying to what? I'm trying to squeeze up there. Because notice, we still have not taken out the previous little pool here. Forget the weekly high. Forget the weekly high. This hasn't get ran. I know they're running it. When I got stopped out here, it didn't run it. So I took this and it fucking came up, stopped, sure, and then fucking raids back. Why? Because they know I'm on their ass. They know people are buying this, bro. Is this buying or selling? It's buying. Very clear. You don't have to be smarter than you need to be honest. So it pops down. Look at this. Look, you can't make this up. Look at this. Look at this. Retraces back. All right, I'm in an oversold. Aha. Okay. And guess what? Last down candle. Same idea of me catching this over here. All right. Last down candle. By the way, you don't have to have, when it crosses over the previous candle, bearish candle as an order block, it can pop back in and then take off. That's what I'm doing. It doesn't need to take out the previous, the high of the candle. It just needs to cross the open. That's why when you see me trailing and it never crosses over the open of the previous bearish candle, it's basically signifying like, okay, it's still bearish. In this case, I did the same thing here. But what I understood more was that the target wasn't met, and B, we just tried to wipe out some liquidity to the left here. This guy right here and this guy right here, which was, I did buy for this. So I understood we swept that, and then we were in oversold. So boom, perfect. You can see me drawing the blue line. I mean, that's where look at my entry. It's not made up, bro. It's not fucking Photoshop. So anyways, that being said, I had issues because there was gaps in here. There was a gap in here. There was actually a gap in here. And then that's, yeah, anyways. So that was the situation, but we popped up, we came back outside, we made a bullish imbalance right there in the blue, and we held, and we fucking just took straight off. What did I do? I did not care to hit it. Why? Go ahead and pause the video and think why. Why would I take the profit? Why would I trail it up hard before the weekly high, especially at night? At this point, I came home and I took the pictures because it wasn't at home. So I was with family the whole time, and then by the time I got home, I was here and I was able to screenshot this. So, but why did I take it out here before? Because they know all these buyers are waiting to get up there. I already knew above here, which was, I wasn't, I secured profit, but they pulled the rug. What'd they do? That was the high. Take a look. I was at the high of the session. Literally. Look, you had this candle that pushed down, and then I wanted to see it push up if it's going to go for the next high. And I don't give a fuck because I want to go back to enjoying my day, my night, right? And then I took it out, was done. Got the whole damn fucking leg and some, right? Okay, but guess what? That was the high. Here, look at the high of Asia. They didn't take out that week. What did they do? They rammed it all the way down. And I told myself, let's sell it. I said, sell it, dude, because I know psychologically they're going to pull it back. Why? Because the people are holding the bag for that weekly high. Okay, so I said, fuck that. I told myself, sell it and go right off into the sunset, or in the sun night, I should say, right? That was the high, right there. What you're seeing right there, that was the high. And what did it do? Sold all the way back. Where? So you don't say. The breakout area. Did you see this? Did you see this right here? See this? That's the present week gap in the purple. By the way, when it drops down with no price action, I'm buying up here because we're coming up here. So they're rushing to wipe out the liquidity to the left, and then with this inefficiency, they rush right through. You see that? Rush right through. So, anyways, I could sell it because I understand that all this breakout right here, buyers here, liquidity, and then this. Look, all you have to do is it's going up here. It's going up. Take a look. Oh, you don't say. It came right back into that. Interesting. Why? Because of what I just said. So then what does it do? Comes up and we finally get to push up above that weekly high. Then it comes back. Okay, now this is where the video starts. I'm already comfortable because of what I got. We have Trump at 11 o'clock. We had news at 10 o'clock. So today, you wanted to wait till 10 o'clock. I was not going to trade before 10 o'clock. And then here comes 9:30. Take a look. We have the opening range gap here. Okay. We look at the midnight level today. The midnight level is laying on the settlement of the opening range gap. So I knew that was high probability, right? But we had the drives coming up and we made a new high. This schematic, or this drawing, take a look at the drawing. The push down, come up, squeeze, retrace, make a new high. That's this right here. I can't do better than this. I can't do better than this. I cannot do better than this. It's perfect. Almost. Anyways. Point is, so, okay, 9:30. Okay. So I have two areas of interest. I have up here and I have down here. Why? Obviously the sealment of the opening range gap. And then on the top side is if this daily bullish candle, today's candle was bullish, I expect a average daily range of 550 points, but I would expect it to expand more. Number one. Number two, we have this pre-New York high here. And then we also I have this -1.5 over here. I did some more projections and you'll see how they meet. And then you have some of this liquidity right there, right? Like again, I don't care if we're bullish or bearish, but right now, if it wants to go up, I'm going to be bullish, right? This is showing you that I'm not, I'm flexible, but look at how I still sell it. So I'm saying all this to say this. I understand both sides of the market, right? I'm waiting for 10 o'clock. So 9:30 pushes all the way up. I'm like, dude, I knew you were going to fucking go up. And then what does it do? Slams. These are 75-point candles. I don't want to be involved in the market. That's craziness, right? So let it do its thing. Fucking speakers out here, right? So pushes up. This is a bullish imbalance. Push straight up. And then I see this. And then we have a first imbalance here. I like this one better, but I did use this one because it is technically the first imbalance. So I have that highlighted, right? And it pushes down and it sweeps that 9:30, and then it comes to the 25% right here on the top of the opening range gap. 25%. Look at the bodies. Look how we tag it. Boom. And then look at this 9:30. I was gonna buy this, but I was like, nope. You're waiting till fucking 10 o'clock. Sure enough, look at this candle. Boom. Comes right back and dude, right on the 9:30. This is an exceeding sign of it's going to make a new high or it's bullish. I don't buy it though. Pushes up. I was a little pissed that I didn't buy this because but the thing is, I don't want to buy this because of the fact that you got this sitting here and it's like, dude, you know what I mean? And then you got this lows right here at midnight. Look at the midnight level is coupled with the high of the high of this week gap, right? It's a breakout area. We made highs here, and then we've gone above it, and now we're making higher lows on top of it, right? So anyways, and then we're currently sitting at the previous day's highs, right? So that's the issue here. Okay, fine. I didn't buy it. It goes up. You see it. You see the first imbalance in the background, and then you see this bullish imbalance, and it makes a new high. Here's 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock, if you watch the price, it shut the fuck up, and then boom, came as a bearish candle. I was like, oh, you bitches. You already came to grab one of these guys. See these guys right here? See these little liquidity highs right here? If I drag it, you can see that we nailed them here, right? That's what they were reaching for real quick. And then they came back. As soon as I saw that, I said, and we're on overbought. I said, okay, this was easy. I was pissed that I didn't buy this. Because, you know, the fear of missing out and all that. You're like, oh, you motherfucker, right? Because I wanted to buy up, right? And then I was like, oh, okay, you're going to come and fuck these motherfuckers up. So sure enough, you're going to come back in the range and then a possibility of coming into here. So, because at 9:30, it was just like insanely just pushed up. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of here. You guys are scammers, bro. So, anyway, I'm looking at this as a buy, sell, buy, right? So, it's generally speaking, if it doesn't really come in here and it doesn't shake out more, then it'll just buy, sell, sell. So I'm catching that sell. And what do? As soon as this candle crosses over the 50% of this wick of the 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock candle, see the 50%? As soon as it crosses over, I'm selling it. Because A, I'm leaving this bullish candle. It's a change of delivery. 2, it's a lower high here to the right, fractally, on a smaller time frame. 3, it's passing right through because it's strong and it's going to hunt all this. So when I sold it, my initial intention to sell this was back into the first imbalance, A. B, look for some type of low, a higher low inside the range that it made. The low to the high, where's 50%? You can see that's underneath here. And then where's a piece of liquidity? This guy right here. Because it went up and it bought and then it pushed through. So, but it just kept going. So I said, okay, cool, let's go. Stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss. See that? You notice that? Notice how we don't have a change of delivery. So we go above I mean, it's not reliable. It's not really reliable if you use the method of it passing the open and versus the high of the candle and coming back in. But I'm just trailing it, and I'm happy to trail it and take the profit. It's getting into an oversold. God knows what this thing is going to do. Okay, take a look here. I just got out right here, didn't I? And then I understand. I said, okay, this guy right here, remember this stupid wick candle? You take a look at this, and this was a signifying of buying. So that's why I'm also trying to get into this liquidity. This is also a great level to do that at. This is also a bearish inversion. I'm trying to get into 50% of that, most likely, but I'm trying to squeeze in. But notice how I get out here and then I buy. Why? Because I was actually trying to make a new high. I said, okay, look at the bodies right here. The bodies of that stupid wick, of that rejection wick, of that bearish wick. Okay, that's a block in itself. So the bodies, look at the 50% of the wick. That's an entry. If it's bullish. And because the bodies are not below the 50%, that means it's bullish. So what does it do? I draw it for you. It pops up. Okay. Comes back into that down candle. I got it marked. But notice how this area here, this one, it pops above the high here. Then it dips all the way back. Where? Into that candle. Open. And now watch this. How did I get not stopped out? Because I got my stop loss has to be at 50%. The next level it has to be at is below the low of this down candle. It's the lowest body. If it is bullish, it will 9 out of 10 times not take out that low of that candle. Now, when it does, it's like by a tick and it's very rare. Okay, so guess what? Let's go take a look at it real quick, just so you know I'm not crazy. Right here. See this? Look at the top here. What's the low of this down candle? The low is 280 and a quarter. What's the low here? 280. You see that? 280. This is 280 and a quarter. It literally ticks it by one tick. And I had it safe underneath right here. Okay. Watch this. What's it called? Right here. See that? Pops back up. I got it marked, and then comes into this down candle. And I'm trying to get into that understanding I mentioned. Okay, watch this. I have the projection from here to here, and then I have a quarter, 0.25 here, right? That would be a minimum kind of target for it to go. 24,500 big figure. And then I have this measured. I have this low to this high, and it's just sitting right here. Okay, in the 1 minute. I have it projected up, -1. Look at the -1 is coupled with this area. I said, oh, this is a great place to buy it to. And then I have the drop down initially from the NFP to this. I have that -1. And look at the -1 is. Buy that -1. You see that? So this was a fucking really great place to go to. Plus, I got the -1.5 up here. I'm like, dude, we're buying up here. So I buy it. Sure enough, I understand that it can fail. You have to know that. But then guess what? It starts to come deeper. I wrote this. I highlighted this. We have no bodies inside that first imbalance because now it's inverting. Okay? And I start to trail it. Tell me why they knocked me out. I said, oh, you bitch. Guess what? This is me getting stopped out right here. What does it do? Slams down. Right back to where? Where I bought. You think that's coincidence? No, and I'm going to show you why. Because I bought there. Not because I bought there. Because good traders bought there. They know how to buy that. So you think it's a coincidence that it came back to me? Why? Because they know I'm on the... They know we on them. Then it came back right there. See that right there? Not a coincidence. And why in the same candle too. You see that? That's on purpose. But then when it did that, I said, oh, this ain't fucking bullish. Retraces right back up to here. To the 50% of the first imbalance. So now it's reclaimed bearish. Acting as a bearish imbalance. That's a resistance level. This was a support. Should have held. That's why it's trailed it. And then it broke underneath. This is selling. This isn't buying. You don't want to see that if it's buying. I mean, I'm sorry. You don't want to see that if it's buying. So I try to take this sell right here. This is where I get a little chopped up. Sell here. Tried to come in here. I tried to come in now. What am I doing here? I'm highlighting the rest of the range. This low with the high of the circle. And it's very, 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 very specific what I'm showing you here. The sealment of that opening range gap. Oh, and I know that midnight level is right there. You notice how I got that highlighted? So I tried to sell it into a very flexible. You like that? Watch this. Misses it. Comes to the 930, just takes out this guy. I'm like, you fucking bitch. And then I have this last high, if it's going to break through, high and this low, I had that projected. I had the negative, I have the quarter here. And then I didn't highlight it, but the -0.5 is here. I just didn't draw it. I don't know why I didn't put it on. But I ended up putting it on later. You'll see. But it didn't matter. This was my goal. I mean, to get here was my goal. But then it just pushed straight through. But before I get to this trade, let me explain how I got chopped up here. So this is a lower high. It's a lower high, right? Pushes through, does not take out. It takes this low, but it does not come into here. Why? Because they know you. They know you sold this. So what they do, they brought it back. A little inversion, tags it. They came back up inside this first imbalance. Out of all the places on earth of today, this is where you're. Okay, come on. So pushes up here, and I already got stopped out. I take this trade again. Fucking comes back down. I'm like, you bitch. Takes this low out and doesn't take this one out. Hits the 25%. Fucking twice. Bounces right back up. I said, bro, what the hell? Right? So I'm still in the trade. I'm holding it. Comes back. I should have took profit, but I'm a little overconfident. Took profit and on the other trades and it's just whatever. So it pops back up. Boom. Where does it go? To the guy that sold here. Very clear. But look, it doesn't take the high out of it on purpose because they've already squeezed the shit out of you, right? If you sold here. So they kept it as a controller price and it's a lower high. It's the real lower high. I can go into structure, but you need to go into about 5 minutes. A lot better. Now look at this here. This is how I get involved. So they fucked me here and I'm on lunch and then I take it while I'm on lunch and then I rush back before it comes down here to take the picture. But look how it rams into the 50%. Nobody there. Comes down. Retraces back up. I didn't push sell yet. I'm inside this wick. Look at the body sitting at 50%. I told myself, push sell here. I didn't. I said, let it show that it's willing to go outside with bodies out of this first imbalance. You can't make this up. And that's what it did right here. It closes outside. Then there's a bearish imbalance right there. See it? A little bearish imbalance right there. and my entry is at the beginning of it. Why is at the beginning of it? Because there's a gap in between. You won't be able to see it now, but you'll see it. And we tag right in it. I have a limit order. I got in with a limit order. It is the bottom of the first imbalance. You cannot make this up. I'm going to show you because I am a nice guy. Take a look. I didn't even draw it. I should have drawn it, but I didn't draw it. Right here. This guy right here. See this? I'm going to draw it now. What's the close here? 332 and 3/4. And it's the same. Okay, so I know there's a gap here though. Got to include the gaps. Let me zoom in for you real big. See this? See it? Look at the gap right there. So once this candle gets printed, so it comes outside. Here is an imbalance. I want to get tagged in. It pops up right here. But my entry is right here. I wanted, if you put it at the 50, you would have not caught it. If you put it at this breakout low, you would have not caught it. So I put it at at here. What's my entry? 326 even. Do you see that? See, this is the area that I'm talking about. 326. Look to your right. Look to your right. What's the open of this candle? Look up top. 326. Oh. Perfection, right? Now, I was going to put it above here, which would have been 326 and 3/4. But I was like, nah, it's all good. Put it at the open. Because what if they tagged it and they never went inside it? Happened to me all the time. So I'm getting filled. And look how they tag it twice. Bro, you can't make it up. So beautiful. What am I doing though? I'm going into this area. Look what it does. Comes down, 930 again, pops up into this imbalance. I did not draw it. Don't even need to. I can see it. It's just a little bear flag popping up a little bit. All right. Rushes for my fucking target. And by the way, to the left, you had liquidity here as well. Right? Beautiful. Tags it. Boom! On the top of the gap. Not the midnight level. I was trying to get in there, but then they squeezed me out. I said, fuck off. Go ahead. Done. All right. And then what happened? So what happened? Now I got the 0.5 right there, by the way. It ended up going below. Now, I should have bought this. I messed up. I should have bought this because it swept the liquidity, sealed, and then we bounced right on top of this. People think this is support. They don't realize it's an old weak gap, bro. But I was exhausted and I was tired, and I'm exhausted now. And then I should have bought this. But notice how we this last down candle. This is what I mean. Last down candle. See how we pop above the high of the candle and then we pop back in. Boom, that's an entry. And I didn't do it. I was pissed I didn't catch this, but I had just closed this and I was like fucking on lunch. I ran up here just to take the picture and I was like, I don't care what you guys do. And then that was it. But anyways, as you see here, boom, pops back in. Then it goes higher, comes right back in as well. And then I won't get into the semantics here. And then sure enough, what are they doing here? Well, could it make a lower high and then roll over? Yeah, but at the same time, remember, we have already made a new high from this high. So you've got like double you should have sold off from here and never came back. So it should have lower high here. It should have rolled. If we were going to continue, it should have done that. Notice how I'm being flexible. Okay. Still took it down here because why did I take this sell? Because you shouldn't be down here. It shouldn't be fucking around like this. So they're just going to try to sweep those late buyers. This is a trap for buyers, right? And you're in a premium. Who wants to buy up here? My dude, I'm not trying to buy up here. Eventually, if once it's structure, yeah, I would buy up here. But I'm saying like relative to what has already happened here, it's like, fuck off, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the logic of why this was a very good buy and I should have bought it. Well, because also the fact that you can see this as being resistance, as being weak. And then guess what? Where I sold from, remember the car I just sold from here? Remember that spot right here? Tell me why it rushes right to it. Why do you think they did that? Think. Because it's the same reason why they came right back to when I bought this. They fucking know, dude. They know. They know you sold here. How can you see that's a sell? It wiped this out. It's still faint, like as far as where it is and considered into the range. It is weak with the wicks. You have this higher low. You see the structure coming up. You can put a fake ass trend line and think it's a break. Okay, right? Comes below. That's easy. So I sold from there. Right? Came right to it. Boom. Now, after that, came all the way back to this 25%. Pretty much a breakout area. It's a nice inversion. I could draw it, but I'm not going to draw it. And then you drag it over, and it became to an oversold. So this became a higher low, and it was a nice buy. And again, I am a little salty that I did not buy it. But dude, I have been killing the market. And I mean, yeah, I've been taking some losses, and you get a little, whatever, but it's a part of the game, dude. And my goal was in this strategy was, I looked at it like, okay, I looked at it as a shakeout, but I looked at it as it was expanding first, and then this was a retracement. After a retracement, and you fucking took the liquidity like inside internally, if you look at that, then the expansion continued here, right? I'm not saying we're going to make a new high. I'm just saying, in general speaking, that's why I was pissed I didn't buy this or this. But again, I wasn't going to trade. It's just I understood pulling back in and then now expansion time. Okay, am I making this too much? Notice. We come back in, wick. Come back, push up right, tag it again. And it comes above it. And come on, bro. Like that this is not random. And then also with the sell here, by the way, I'm sorry. With the sell here, I took here on the opening range gap. If you go look back at Mondays, 2 Mondays ago, not last Monday, the Monday before that, March 23rd, I'm using that because these are nested inside, so I don't need it. That's when we sold off. That's when we sold off at the 50% of that Mondays. Take a look here. Look when we made this high right here. Look when we made this high today at 10 o'clock. Look at this top eighth. Look to the right. Look to the right. That's perfect. That's why I sold it. Because they were reaching and they grabbed that eighth level. If you look to the right here, you're sweeping this liquidity. See this? See these guys right here? This guy right here? They swept it. And that little guy right there. You can't make this up. And this guy right there. See this guy right there? And that guy. That's what they swept. That's the eighth level. It's going back to March 23rd's opening range gap. That top eighth. All right, we sold it from the 50 there. We came up inside. We're playing around in this quadrants here. And then when we popped up when I got out, by the way, yesterday at the high remember in the Asia range, look, what's this? That's the 50. Look to the right. Look to the right. You see it? Got out right there. Go do the back testing. All right. And then when it popped back in, I'm using Thursday's opening range gap. We're in the upper quadrant and it's exceedingly bullish there, right? So when I should have bought this, look to your left. Look to your left. That's why. Look at Thursday's high. Opening range gap. Look to the right. We ticked it right here. That was why I was my target. But it also should have been my fucking buy. But okay, it made a nice buy. I would have trailed it and got out if I did. If it didn't, it doesn't matter. That was the point here. And then that 75%. I'm giving you some extra credit here. And then just fire, buddy. What is that? How many minutes? 39. Fuck. And then initially you got these drives down. So when I had sell at 10 o'clock, you could see that we were already here on VIX, and it was on an oversold. So I was like, oversold. Looks like we're gonna pop up, and then that was the reasoning for that initial sell. And then it just kind of kept going. And then when when the price action is sitting here, and this has already now took out that low, and you know that it's probably going to come up to an overbought area, that's when I took this buy. I'm sorry, it was buying on VIX, and that's when I took this sell here. That's when this occurred. Okay, go do the research. Okay, here's dollar, and it's kind of slowly kind of going up still. So that's why they had already pushed down, right? And then that's when I was buying initially in Asia, and then we started kind of pushing back up, right? Right now, so far, it's holding this last down candle, this imbalance. I didn't draw it. You should expect to make a new high that would eventually push us down, but we'll see. This is where it's going to be tricky, where we end up going here, because it's I don't think it's a fun place to be. But and then with all that said, I had at the time here at 9:30, we had higher lows with S&P, and we had lower lows with Dow and Nas. So that was essentially the big push up. Then it retraced back in. It made a new low with S&P, a new low with Nas, and then you see me drawing it right here. We made a higher low with Dow. And then that is when, I didn't buy it still, but that's when I saw it pre 10 o'clock. And then we pushed up here. This was now 10 o'clock here, right? As you see. And then they had all of them had rated their previous liquidity. So what does that mean? That means that we expanded, and I'm looking to sell for a retrace in general speaking, because it rated the high. And then the way that candle closed, and I sold it back into the range, and then I bought it again. All right. And then when I bought it, there was no divergence. So it sucked, but I understood that it could still buy. And then I got out right here, came back. This made a lower low here. And then, I was already now, once it broke through, I was trying to sell this here. And why? Because became a seller here because Dow made a new high here. And then you had lower highs here. So I was buying up, saw the divergence, said I'm squeezing out. And then this fucking candle came all the way down, which was this 1035. And we retraced for a lower high and that breakout. And then I understood, okay. You got a divergence here as well. That's part of the conversation. And then when Nas made a lower low here and I sold it to here and I did not buy this, that's why I was pissed, was because this was a fucking lower low. And then they made higher lows here. And then sure enough, we did buy up here, taking that guy right here. And now we're sitting here. All right, move forward here. Dow, as you see, it looks like it's kind of pushing up. We nice divergence on the oversold. We pretty much fucked everybody to the left of the chart. So, buying up was seasonality wise was very practical. And then look at this, man, coming right to a support, bro. Coming right to that breakout area, dude. Like, it's like, okay, maybe, I don't fight it, but maybe that was it, baby. I mean, and I talked about, I called the top of Dow here. And I said that we were coming down here, bro. Like, and then we bounced up, man. Like oversold. I said possibly buying up. It looks like it's going fucking up to me. And then that's kind of what it is. They got a closure here, so change the delivery for Dow. We might be late to the party, but that's what it is. And then look at this shit. All right, shakeout. 1, 2, 3. Now the direction showing for Dow. Higher high, higher low. That's what I was trying to do, but they held us down. Higher high, higher low. Look at that, 25%. Anyways, and then fucking comes back in, and then makes a new high. That's the one thing I used to like about Dow. I ain't gonna lie, but I mean the price action is just horrible. S&P and I talked about, like that the way that closed in that bullish imbalance, and I drew all this, bro. Like, they came to their top two. And then what is this, a 4 hour? Nowhere near their breakout area on the contracts, or I'm on the continuous contract. I don't know. For some reason, the way they were talking, and we need 45 days now to get a decision, and now they're already dragging it out. They're making money in oil and all this and that. I just feel like, man, it should come back down again. But we'll see what they do. Sorry, I'm just talking here and moving this thing around. So I'm not getting real big follow through here. But seasonality wise, if I talk about the seasonality, if this is why I drew, I didn't just draw this because I'm a genius. Okay? I drawn it because of seasonality and logical price delivery. Don't get me wrong. But as you see, right, it just makes sense that if it takes out this low, we pop up to sell to fuck the sellers. Once you came up here, I drew it coming back down. Why? Because the fucking buyers are buying right here. And then once you did that, there's sellers here. And now they're going to try to get these guys. So we popped up more. That's what this drawing is. This is on the 30th. Logically, that's how I drew it. You can't make it up, man. So, and then S&P, fucking dirty, man. Just, I mean, ours wasn't that pretty either today either. I ain't gonna lie. It just, I'm so salty I didn't buy that. It doesn't matter. It's in a premium area, and then it's shakeout, bro. It's a Monday. I like Mondays. It had a high chance of doing what it was doing, and then now I wanted to kind of sweep this. We're getting in. I am so tired. What was I gonna say right now? So and then Nvidia just kind of sitting there. So it's going to be really interesting what we do from here. Back to the seasonality wise, I don't even know if I could right now. Obviously, you've seen that it would be pushing up from here, right? Once we make that high and we break through it. If you look at the 15-year and the 15-year and the 5-year, they show continuously making new highs. So I guess I could draw this again. I'm gonna talk about in a seasonality world. And if you remember, I made this example where the 15-year did this. Do you recall that? I can't even find the video, so you probably don't. But it was something like this, where it's high, higher, low, high, higher, deep in, and then pushes through. That's the 15-year. Okay. Obviously, what I've already been drawing was the pretty much kind of like the 5-year. What I've drawn in this is still the case in the 5-year, and then the problem is the 30-year. It's like because of the April 6th, and we have CPI on fucking whatever, but April 6th, since April 6th, we're supposed to see a push up like we did. But now it was supposed to already been selling off like this. So however low it goes, comes into here and then buys up. And that would be the 30-year. So what do they all have in common? Obviously going back up after that pullback, but we'll see which one it does. Does it fan out? I don't know. Obviously I don't fucking know. But we should have been selling on this day. So on the 6th, so it's supposed to continue buying from the rest of the days up until the 15th. It's supposed to keep buying. So I don't know, man. Am I missing something? If you take the quad, if you take this bearish wick, not bearish wick, this wick here, this bullish wick, if you take that wick and you quad it, you'll see that we come into the 25 to 50% of that. I also had this quadded here, by the way, this down wick here from March 9th. Notice how we stretched out. We didn't get to the 50, but we stretched out initially on Thursday, we hit the 25% of that. Look to the right, look to the right. Perfect. See that? You see that? So when we pushed all the way up, you got this wick too. This 25% of the wick hits it perfectly. Comes outside that bearish daily imbalance. Again, top quadrant here. And then over here, look at the bodies here. Look at the bodies sitting above 50% of this bearish daily imbalance right there. See that? So look at the bodies here. I'm not dragging it out. So the bodies on the daily. And then that would show that we're bullish. So we have a closure here. We don't have a change of delivery yet because there's no closure, but it did cross the open of these consecutive 4 down candles. But to me, this is regaining bullishness. But if we pull back in hard down, then I'll say we're continuing back to bullish. So you're not gonna wanna invert this. Like it doesn't. You're not gonna come underneath and use that 50%, and that would be back to bearish. So to be bullish, you got to stay above this and above this here. And yeah. And then also, as you notice, I talked about this also, right? Look at the bodies on the weekly, how they are up. They're at the 50%. That's also exceedingly bullish as well. If we come down, we'll be using this like a 1 minute. Pretend like this is a 1 minute, bro. So right now, I mean, technically, this is still bearish, okay? It is still bearish. So, but, because that's a protective lower high here, and, we're popping up. So, but if you're bearish, you don't want to see another high here. You want to see now, like, this makes another shoulder here, another lower high to the short-term lower high to the right, and then, you kind of roll down. And then that would be looking more in the 30-year, but then and also what we have going on in the world. So I mean, that's really all I could tell you. The weekly objective has already been hit for me because it hit the previous week's high. So I understood most likely a bullish day today. Now, what do you expect tomorrow? Do you expect another bullish day? Well, we still have the right to also come up. Keep in mind, we also have this low here. See this low, swing low here? This low here? Look to the right. See, that's a breakout area. So this is still like a resistance conversation and price action. And this can easily turn a bearish week. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to really, what's today, Monday? It's just the high of the week. And now we're going to pull back in to eat some of this. All right, because then you got higher, low. You got breakout area. So you got liquidity, imbalance, breakout area. I like this if we come down. But we made a new high, so I'm going to delete this. So this is a 101.5. Notice how we came into there, deleting it. We already made these moves down. I'm deleting this. Let me delete this. That came to a 2.5. Nice there. Deleting that. Now we're in this 101.5. All right, so we came down on 101.5. We came down to this 101.5. That was, and so far this is in control, this projection. And then I got this. Let me move this over, man. I know this is kind of ugly here. Okay, and then I got that projected there. We're in the 2.5. If we reach this, I'm gonna say we're going like the bullish. So that's what's on the flow on the top side, and then you have this 2 to 2.5. You have the first imbalance of the month right here. So yeah, do we end up getting into this area? Look at the liquidity here. If you're bullish, you're gonna want to come and see this here. Otherwise, and it stops here. And you're bearish, you wouldn't want to see another high. So if you start to see this, I'm going to go right back to being bearish. I'm going to probably say that, unless it's just a 30-year retracing deeper. But let's see, what else can I say? We have a nice room, even if it did pop up higher and, it's still really bearish. That's why I was talking about this conversation here. Like, okay, we pushed down and then now we're grinding up, but we're still like in a resistance area. This could be that. And then what does it do? It rolls over. I still favor this. I'll be honest, I don't want to buy. I am not even, and I'm not actually bullish. I'm not. It's just, you know, they're on some bullshit and they're coming back up a little bit. So it's I don't know what else I could say. It's kind of neutral here. I'm gonna bring this back to there. See that? Oh, look at the bodies. See that? So I sold there too. See that? I know we're tagging that shit. Everything I just mentioned in this video. So, low, you don't say. Pops right back, bro. That's why I sold that shit. I knew it was there. I had it. I saw it. That's why when this candle, this 1001, when it started rolling through this, you shouldn't be here if you're buying. You should have pushed up. Immediately sold that bitch. See that shit? Look at that, bro. That's perfect, dude. So, yeah. What else? I don't. I'm really exhausted. I don't even want to make videos anymore. To be honest, very tired, and I'll be taking a vacation at the end of this month. So we'll see how I end up doing here. Let me see. Anything else? All right. So we pulled up into the 1.5. We pulled back in. Fine. You would expect to get into this area here. Next, if we're bullish, so you don't even want to take out this low. You want to keep going, right? You want to see this push up. So we'll see if we get that. Otherwise, this is the brick wall here, ceiling, brick ceiling here. So, and the weekly is it already came attacked the previous week. You can also measure this wick here on the weekly. Take a look. We're in the upper half. You don't want to see a daily candle. I'm sorry. You don't want to see a weekly candle close here as well. On the daily, you also don't want to see a daily candle close above this wick here, this down wick. Let's see what else. I feel like I'm missing something, man. All right, you guys take care and God bless.